Okay, it's going to be a little bit different today. This is not comedy. This is about a journey some friends of mine are taking. Um, Behind me is a map. I'm going to get myself off the screen so you can see it. Some buddies of mine are on a cruise. Well, it's actually a sailing trip on one of my friend's sailboat. They are now in Spain. You can see this route. They started out in La Rochelle, France. Let me give you a little background on this. My buddy John Babot purchased an ML 50. It's a very high end sailboat, and it was manufactured for him at the factory in La Rochelle, France. They went, uh, John, his brother Jorge, and another friend, David Verhoeven, went to La Rochelle about 3 weeks ago to get training on the boat. Uh, get it fitted out and to embark upon a journey. And that journey is going to take them from La Rochelle to points south, Spain, Portugal, Gibraltar, and on into the Mediterranean. So they're on the first leg of the trip, and that's what this route is the first leg of the trip. Let me show you who these guys are, just for drill. And I'm kind of in the way, so let me get myself out of the way. That's Jorge on the left, David in the center, and John Babot on the right. Um, they're on the boat, and let me see if I can get a picture of the boat itself. That's what the boat itself looks like. And that's Jorge standing on the boat. So let's go back to the route just a minute, and we talk a bit more about that. Um, So, as I say, they started La Rochelle. They sailed across the Bay of Biscay, which is kind of that rectangular area in the middle. You can see down on the left, below my picture-in-picture image, the a little point, which is the northwest coast of Spain. The little point juts out into the Atlantic just below the Bay of Biscay. So they put into a marina there early this morning, their time. I called John, spoke to him a few minutes ago. It was about two there in the afternoon, and I had told him that I'm going to give him a call back here in a little while, and we're going to do a little audio podcast. So this is the intro for it, so you know what's coming next. I'm going to be giving John a call when I come back here. I'll have John on the phone. We'll do a little bit of interview, chit chat, and get some updates on the trip, how the trip has gone so far. So that's probably enough of an intro. I'm going to fade this out. Like I say, when I come back, I'll be with John. Bye bye. Okay, we're back, and I've got John Babot on FaceTime audio on the phone. So we're going to do a bit of interview and hear a little bit about the trip. This picture I have up here is John is closest to me in the picture in picture. David Verhoeven is in the center, and Jorge, John's brother, is on the far side, and they are sitting, looks to me like on the stern of the boat. Yeah, I think that's what that is. Anyway, John, this I've got this on. We're recording, and you want to talk a little bit? Tell me where you
Yeah,
are
sure.
and what time of day it is and what's going on there with you guys.
Sure. I'll back it up just a little bit. Our plan was to have this boat built by ML. It's an ML 50 in La Rochelle, France. We picked up the boat on the 17th of January, and it's a brand new boat. So there are, just a few things to work out on the boat. Not to mention the crew has to learn how to use all the electronics, electric winches. It's like having a house and your utilities all together in one, and you're responsible for all those things. So we were there for about 3 weeks, outfitting the boat, we had sent 750 pounds of our own gear to France, probably because COVID. It took 4 months to get there. So the first week we were there, we're just working on the boat, but we don't have our gear, our life preservers and a bunch of other communication devices, things like that. When I finally arrived, we were able to test the boat out, and the weather wasn't all that bad in the Bay of Biscay, which is, there are a lot of Spanish galleons on the bottom of Bay of Biscay for a reason. It can be absolutely brutal. And, we were working on the boat and sailing it, and it was fantastic. Mel makes a really, really good product. And then we finally, when Wes showed up, my brother-in-law, we determined it's time to go. So we were going to go to Lisbon from La Rochelle, which is about 750 nautical miles, and cross the Bay of Biscay in one shot. And that's essentially what we did. We crossed it, and the Bay of Biscay, it held up to its reputation. So, like I said earlier to you, Joe, we'd be steaming, that's motoring in 1 knot of wind, and 10 minutes later, we've got 25 plus knots of wind. So you have to throw up. There's going to be some banging going on right now because we didn't go all the way to Lisbon. Right now, we are in A Coruña, Spain, which is near Point Finisterre, which is, back when the Spanish believed that was the last part of the world before Columbus had discovered anything.
Yeah, John, I've got a picture of your route map up right now that shows you starting from La Rochelle, going across the bay, and where you are currently. So I've got that still picture up at the moment. So you're talking to
Okay,
exactly
good,
what
good.
I'm showing. That's great, man.
So what we have. So I'm the skipper of the boat, and I have 3 crew: Jorge, David, and Wes. Last night, the seas were very confused, which generally happens when you have a pretty good sized swell that's coming in from the Atlantic, and then you have cross currents and winds that really confuse the seas. So in the middle of the night, it went from, hey, this is pretty good sailing, to real, our boat would launch up in the air and then slam down on into the trough of another wave. Jorge had just finished his stint and was really tired and wanted to go sleep in his cabin. Now his cabin is forward, the most forward cabin. So it's kind of like a roller coaster. When you're on a roller coaster, the front seat is very different than the rear seat. And in a boat, that the front is going up and down quite a bit. And Jorge actually, so he has lee cloths, which are these cloths you put in the bed so that when the boat is going from side to side, you don't get thrown out of the bed. Well, he was thrown up into the ceiling 3 times.
Oh my goodness!
Because
I've got a picture. I got a picture up here of Jorge at the helm.
Right, that's probably when we departed La Rochelle.
It
and of
is.
course,
It's that departure picture you guys posted.
it was just so pristine. The sun was setting and the seas were very calm, and we had a nice fresh breeze, and this is going to be wonderful. It was wonderful, but it threw a bunch of curveballs at us. And also, Joe, as you probably remember, one of the things we wanted to do was post video of us in the sailboat in the Bay of Biscay or the Atlantic from a drone's perspective. And we did a lot of
talk to me about the drone. I hear it's Davy Jones 2, drone 0. Is that the score right now?
You still there, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm here. The audio drop
Hello.
out. Hello.
Joe, I might have lost you.
I hear you just fine. I hear you just fine, John. You don't hear me? Let me call you back.
Yeah.
How about
hey,
now?
Joe. Yeah, can hear you fine.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So what we did, we were probably, so we were sailing. It's enormous. It's a combination of a spinnaker and a Genoa, very, very large sail, and the mainsail. And we were making some really good way, and the weather was nice. And Dave decided to fly his drone. So I believe he might have purchased that from you, Joe. It's a really nice
No,
large
no,
drone.
I think he must have bought a new one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and this had, gimbaled camera, fantastic drone. And he'd come over to our place a number of times to practice with it. And he's like, yeah, I got it down. So we deployed the drone, and I would hold on to it from the fantail of the boat. He deployed the drone, and I was able to look over his shoulder at the iPad or similar that he was operating from, and the view from a drone looking down on a sailboat all by itself in the Atlantic, it was just beautiful.
I bet.
So when I was looking at it, when he came back down, turned out his camera wasn't on. So it's like, and it was not easy to catch the drone. If you remember, the first time we did it practicing with you, you brought the drone down. We were in the back of a pickup truck trying to simulate a sailboat, and I grabbed the drone and it spun in my hand and then cut my arm with the propellers.
Yeah, I remember that when
So
we were
anyway,
practicing that day.
so Jorge also brought a drone, but this is an adorable one. It's about the size of a pancake. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and deploy it, and we'll get some good film. And David's like, are you sure, Jorge? Are you sure? And I'm thinking, well, Jorge, it's pretty windy out there. And he deployed his drone, and it after about, I'd say, 45 seconds, it just couldn't keep up with us, because you have the wind that's blowing at, let's say, 18 knots. We're going about 9 knots, and he's got it full throttle trying to catch up with the boat, and it just goes off into the distance. And the best part about it was he actually had video, but when it finally disappeared, it's like impossible to see, right? Because it's so far behind us.
Oh yeah.
He's still receiving video on his iPad, and we're looking at it, and he's rotating it 360 degrees in the ocean, trying to find the sailboat that's got these huge white sails, right? It should be visible. He's doing 360 turns and we're watching the video. It's like, where's the boat? We couldn't even find the boat. And of course, then on the screen it says battery critical, forced landing. And so it starts, we watched it go into its demise right into the ocean. So
oh my gosh.
I was laughing hysterically because, it's inappropriate, and I did. So he lost his drone, and he took it pretty well. But then the second time, David wanted to fly his drone, and this time make sure he's got the video working and he can control the gimbal camera, because we wanted to get some good shots. He got some great shots, but we were really, really moving, and the wind was really moving. And as he tried to approach the boat, on a sailboat that's moving real well, you have laminar flow and turbulent flow, depending on where you are with respect to the sails.
Yeah, behind the sails. Yeah, I can imagine
yes,
that.
we were. So you have true wind and apparent wind, and as he got closer, the wind angles would change for his drone, and he was having a hell of a time bringing it over to where I'm tethered in, because the water's 48 degrees, and you will perish quick if you fall in that water. So I'm tethered in. I'm leaning over the lifelines, and I'm trying to grab it, and he's making every effort he can to catch the boat, and he can't. There was one situation where he got just below me, and I'm looking at 4 propellers. I can't grab the propellers because I'd get chewed up, and it then just took off and left us, and it was leaving us. Here we are. We're going westbound out of La Rochelle. And it went eastbound like it knew where it was going, and it hightailed out of there.
So that's the last you've seen of that drone too, right?
Yeah. So David said, turn the boat around. Turn the boat around. That damn thing's going 70 miles an hour. Well, what had happened was he had GPS turned on. This is how he explained it to me. He had the GPS turned on, and at a point when it said, okay, battery is getting too low, it said, fuck this, I'm going home. So it left us and went back to the spot we deployed it, which was, miles away.
That was some distance out of La Rochelle. That was early in the journey.
Yeah. We were probably at that point. I'd say 80 miles offshore.
Okay.
Wow. We've got a Jenniker deployed and a main deployed. We're not. It's a sailboat isn't like a the shopping cart. You don't just go left, right, and turn around willy nilly. It's 30.
It's not like you could really stop and go back, right? Very easily.
We'd have to bring in the sails, There's a lot of things we could have done, and we thought about it, and have been talking about it since because we really want to get these good shots because we're seeing some really beautiful waves. The
So,
swells out here at times when the wind's blowing, it's just out of nowhere. When you are looking out at the ocean, it looks like you're looking at topography. It's like, oh, there's a mountain range over there. No, that's not a mountain range. Those are the seas.
so
The
does
seas are
Amazon deliver over there? Can you order a drone and get it delivered?
well. So we're in A Coruña right now. We just went shopping for some food. We pulled in only because I wanted to. One of the things I hadn't done was pull my own boat into a foreign country and done all the whole process of checking into the foreign country.
Right,
Of course,
right.
it's a bit exacerbated with the situation with COVID, but it was. We planned on. My calculation was we were to be here around 7 or 8 in the morning, and given the forecast and the grid files I was downloading, well, it turns out the wind was blowing a lot better than what the files had shown me. So we made better time, and we ended up coming in here dead of night. And coming into a foreign port where you can't see a damn thing, it's nice to have crew on board. You got a point guy on
John,
front with some.
I've got that picture up. Somebody took that picture this morning as you were coming in to the port. It's
Oh, that would be, yeah, that
off
would
the
be
bow of the
west.
boat. Somebody's standing up at the very tip of the bow of the boat, and then it
Yeah,
shows the harbor area.
I had
Uh,
him there for quite a long time because as
okay.
as we come into the approach, I'm using both my chart plotter and also my radar
Uh-huh.
because certain things uh, they're supposed to be marked, like all the buoys are supposed to be marked on the charts. Well, every now and again they're not marked or they've moved them and it hasn't been updated. And yeah, what's up, Jorge? Um, and so we came up on a buoy, which it's not a little plastic buoy; it's concrete and it's about 10 feet tall.
A real buoy.
Um, yeah, yeah, you're right. It's like where the hell did that come from? I didn't see it on the chart, and sure enough, it was on the radar. So yeah, we just gotta trust the radar because you're essentially going down a highway and you're blindfolded, and you just have your electronics that are telling you what's there because you can't see anything. So, but the electronics have been working wonderfully, so we're doing all right.
So I got a picture of the marina itself up at the moment that I took off of No Foreign Land. It shows the layout of the marina. It shows you're up in a slip very close to the entrance, it looks like, into that
That's
marina.
exactly right.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
what.
came in. It's a real narrow entrance, and it's got these quays that are concrete. They're about 15 feet tall. The opening is very small. I mean, for someone who's just driving a car going into a grocery store, it's not small. But there are a lot of currents here and swells, and in pitch black, you have your green blinking light and a red blinking light. And in Europe, when you're coming into a harbor, you
Uh-huh.
keep the red on your port. Now, in the United States and Virgin Islands, and I believe Japan and Australia, when you're coming into a harbor, you keep red light on your starboard. So,
Really?
these
So
are
it's
just some of the
reversed.
things. Right, right. And, France has been a maritime country long before the United States ever had a boat. So I
And
wish they
Spain
would.
too, of course. I think they might have
Well, yeah,
invented the boat.
you're right. So I just wish they'd have a little more consistency because you see that it's like, am I supposed to have red right on return or is the port red on return? You know,
So this
but
map
I
is all in Spanish, which is this is real handy that you speak Spanish fluently.
right. Oh my goodness. So the difference. So being in France, my best I can say, parlez-vous l'anglais? And the answer usually is no. They- I mean, the French are really good at saying no, and
Which probably means
and
I
so
don't understand the shit. I don't understand a damn thing you're saying.
yeah, it has been very very interesting because we're pretty gregarious people. We don't we like to go out and talk to people and meet new people. And in France, even the person's name. This one young man was serving us at a restaurant, and his name. None of us pronounce. And as a matter of fact, I still can't pronounce. It's just crazy. But here's a funny thing. My brother's name is Jorge.
Yeah.
And what I realized with the French, what they do is, first of all, spelling of a word is it's irrelevant
It has
because
nothing to do with the way you pronounce it, right?
that's right. So they just omit the last several letters. And generally, here's what I found out: they cannot pronounce the first letter of certain names. Like for example, we say, "Yeah, I'm John." Oh, I say John. They can say John, but we say, "Oh, here's my brother Jorge," which is, we're Cubans, so
Uh-huh.
Jorge is a real name. They're like, "Whoa," like you're asking them to do quantum physics or something. They're like, Jorge.
They can't make that sound. I guess there's no
Yeah,
sound like that in French.
no, absolutely not. Yeah.
Interesting.
So many places we went to, it was like I was getting a migraine headache because usually I'm the guy who understands what's going on because being, Cuban American, I can speak Spanish and English. And,
Sure.
the places I've grown up, California and Texas, it's like I'm the guy who understands everything. Not anymore.
Hey, let me backtrack just a little bit, then we'll come back to the marina here, and then we'll wrap this up in a few minutes. And uh,
Yeah.
I noticed that you came across that area there north of Spain, where those rogue orcas had been reported a while
Oh,
back.
geez. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Did you see any evidence of any rogue orcas out there
well,
anywhere?
we did see porpoise, but not any orca. And this is serious. So I have charted out all the orca attacks, and the last one that was recorded was just a few weeks back. Um, it was just 3 miles outside of Gibraltar, which of course that's where we're going,
Okay, that's
as you
way
know.
south of where you are now, though, of course.
Right, but it's this one fucking pod. I shouldn't say that, but it has its own like subspecies name because it's like Iberius. It's like, and there's a Spanish scientific organization that's been tracking these, and what they essentially say is, if you're getting attacked by an orca, right, turn off your engines, turn off your electronics, and don't be seen. But we'd love for you to take a bunch of pictures of him, video, so that we can, get our scientific Jones going on. It's
Uh-huh.
like, wait a minute, that's just, and they, I'm a member of a group that follows these orcas because the organization in Spain will not give any information because they're essentially scientists and they don't give two shits about, boaters out there that are getting their tillers chewed off by these 12,000-pound orcas.
Uh-huh.
Well, it turns out it's one particular pod they think it is, and it's these two teenagers in the pod, and they're just teenagers, so they're only 8,000 pounds, but they always go after the rudders and chew them up. Um, and it's
Are
like,
they
well,
tasty or
what?
something? What are they making those rudders out of?
I think the problem is
Compressed
no
fish
one
meal
really
or
knows
something?
yet because I've been reading on this, but they believe that orcas are, well, they're pretty smart. They teach each other how to hunt, and each sub population, they have their own techniques on how to hunt. Whether it's go down below a school of fish and circle them and throw up a bunch of bubbles, and it concentrates them into a cone, and then they just frenzy feed on those things. Or like in Alaska, they're having problems with these orcas because they realize, like, we're just going to hang out by these fishing boats because we know what it looks like, and when they get a catch, we'll just tear their friggin' nets open and we'll just feast on the food. So it's a real issue. Some people think there's some overfishing going on, so they're coming up to our boats and just fucking with. Usually, what they do is they'll bump into the boats, but the biggest problem is they chew on the rudders. And once you lose your rudder,
You're
it's a
done.
little hard to steer. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no kidding.
So yeah, then it's Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Vessel Malacon doesn't have any rudders. Can someone tow me home? Yeah,
All right, let's come back to the marina and then we'll wrap this up in a minute, John. I've got the
yeah.
picture of the marina back up there. So what are you guys going to do there you said you were going to stay a couple of days. What do you have in mind?
Well, since it's four guys, we're guys, and we're not, you know, we're really good at certain things and really lousy at other things. And one of them turns out we're not great at provisioning. So
You're not what?
we
You're
have
not, you know what?
we're not good at provisioning. Stocking
Oh.
the boat with good food to eat. We have a lot of frozen meat,
So
like
in other
a
words,
hundred pounds.
you needed to have a woman along to do the
A woman.
hunter gatherer kind of thing, huh?
Oh, we were thinking about hiring one.
Oh,
When we were
really?
in La Rochelle. Yeah, yeah, no. So we had, like I said, like 100 pounds of beef and pork and chicken, because we have this enormous freezer, and then we have two refrigerators on board. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna be good, and then 4 apples and 3 oranges or something like that. And of course, the fresh food went away right away, and we're kind of like, wow, we should probably get some more fresh fruit or something, or something to drink. So
Okay.
yeah, there's that whole provisioning that yeah, that's
I lost you just a moment, John. I think I lost your audio. Yeah, I think you dropped out on me.
you there.
Oh, yeah, I'm back. You hear me? Let me give him a call back. All right, you back?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
back.
okay. Yeah, it just dropped out again for some reason.
Yeah.
But that's, I guess, because it's an internet connection. You never know when we're going to lose it. So anyway, let's kind of wrap this up here. You want to do this again? This
Yeah,
has
I'd
been
love
kind
to.
of fun. I think this might be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going
I
to
mean,
go
there's
ahead and I'm going to go.
a lot more detail we can go into.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and edit this a little bit, and then I'll
Yeah.
post it on Facebook later on today, and then I'll post it in Malicon Build.
Okay, great.
So it'll be, or
Yeah.
excuse me, I'm going to post, excuse me, this will be uploaded to YouTube. I'll post the link on Facebook in
Yeah.
Malicon Build, and also probably on my Facebook page. You could do whatever you want to with it.
Okay, great.
All right, well, I am going to fade us out here. Hold on, just don't hang up on me for a second. I'm going to fade this out and stop the recording.